2016 is a big year for us. We're trying to re-establish ourselves as the number one team in the world, and we're doing that with a new group of players, having lost some really great talent in the past, and Richie and Dan and Kevy and Woody and Ma and Conrad. So a real big opportunity for the guys that are coming in. First test for Rito to be the full-time captain. I'm sure he's excited by that. Well, I know he is. And people like Sam Kane getting the opportunity to cement his stake in the ground with regards to the number 7 jersey.
Obviously a big night for Seta and Ardi on the reserve bench, but what does it say about that succession planning, that there's only 2 guys that will be debuting?
Look, I think we've done a reasonably good job in that regard. We've tried to make sure that we've planned for this rollover of those great players, and we've done a lot of work leading into this series with the leaders. But the proof's in the pudding, so it's an ongoing job all the time, isn't it? You're not just picking for today, you've got to be selecting for the future as well, and we want this juggernaut, for the want of another better word, to keep rolling on and delivering what we expect it to deliver, and that's high class performances.
How do you get that mindset right of the guys? Obviously a little bit of apprehension, those new leaders, where they don't have the old guys to fall back on. How do you get that excitement and anxiety, I suppose, balanced?
I don't think you do. I think it just comes with clarity and clarity of what you expect from them. So the expectation is that they're the best players that they can be. So that's about them preparing well and getting that process right, and that doesn't change. It's actually understanding the process better because they've got a bigger picture to think about rather than just themselves, the whole team, making sure that's right. And from what we've seen so far, it looks pretty good. And then understanding that they have to have a voice. We expect everybody in the team to lead. We want everybody to prepare well, and we want everyone to have a voice. And that's what keeps us connected in those tough moments. And the leaders will be the guys that people will look for, and when they're looking for them, they need to be calm and reassuring, and making sure that they're having their voice in the right way.
What do you expect from a Welsh side that I suppose really fancy their chances after a long hiatus?
Well, they're very confident in their fitness. They see themselves as being the fittest side, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere. Probably, I would dare to say they probably see themselves as the fittest team in world rugby. They like to play the game with the ball and play a lot, so don't expect them to kick the ball out too often, because they'll also see our line out as a strength, which it has been over the last 2 or 3 years. There'll be a physical side. They train physically hard, and they see themselves as a physical side who want to dominate you up front. So we'll see a lot of carries from their big forwards around the corner, and they'll use Roberts as a big ball carrier, a big man in the midfield. So the last questions of us there. Their kicking game is good. Dan Bigger, I think, is very exciting, 5'8". He's got a good kicking game, and very good aerially himself. So he'll kick the 28s and look to get up and win the ball back. So they're a pretty complete side, I think, and a lot better than people actually giving them credit for.
Given the form of, I suppose, the players across the board, but in particular at first 5, the three lads there, what was your thinking with Aaron and Bowden and that sort of starting?
Well, Crudes has been the incumbent before he got injured, and then DC took over again, and Crudes was injured obviously for that whole tournament. So we've always felt you can't lose ground while you're injured. He's come back, he's playing well for his franchise. He's always performed well for us when he has played. And the other big thing is, like, we're a squad of 23. We're not a starting 15 and then some extras. We're actually a team of 23, and each of those people have got a particular role. And if we go back to the World Cup and look at the 23, Bowden was excellent off the bench. He gave us something that other teams couldn't have, along with someone like Sonny Bill. Having players like that coming off your bench actually gives you a big advantage. And if you swap them over, would you get the same result from Cruge coming off the bench? And I'm not sure that we would. And at this point, we're not prepared to experiment with that. So we know that we will get something extra special from Bode's coming off the bench, and that's his role, and he's the best in the world at it. So hence why we've done it.
And finally, I suppose with the coaching staff, you have 6 months into the year before you get your crack. You must be all raring to go.
I think everyone is, to be honest. It's certainly, as coaches, you're desperate to coach. That's what you enjoy about being a coach, is actually doing the coaching side of it. But we have had a bit of time, but we've also learnt some lessons over many years that you just can't dump everything on them and expect the players I'm talking about now to understand it as well as you have, because we've had 6 months to get the understanding cemented in between the old lugs. And the players are coming from an environment where they're playing and they've got their own set of calls, and there's 5 different sets of calls. So what we've got to do is just take our time and look at what's really critical, particularly over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and get that cemented, and then look to add in the variation and the new stuff. So we're confident we've done that. We've had the luxury of having 2 weeks to prepare as opposed to 1 week. And this week has all been about simplifying it, getting the clarity that we need to be able to go out and not have to think about it, be instinctive, and really, when you're like that, you can bring physicality and intensity and expose your talent. So if we do that, then we're in with a good chance.